So we just lost our jobs, Tash.
Oh no. What does this mean?
It means that ChatGPT got connected to HubSpot and ChatGPT with deep research. With deep research. That's what this means.
Deep research. Very, very, very deep research. Yeah, you're right, Semi. Since ChatGPT deep research came out, we're out of a job.
Well, why would someone need us now? We just talked about why, and now we're like last episode we just talked about what we do, and now we're just gonna replace by ChatGPT. It's insane.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Well, welcome to HubSpot Mentors, and today we are talking about, if you couldn't pick that up, the deep research connector with ChatGPT and HubSpot. It is the smartest, sassiest new assistant in town, as some might say. And yes, Sammy, you're right. Last week we talked about, all the tools you need to know and how we do our jobs in HubSpot. And here we are this week kind of saying, throw it all out the window. Just use ChatGPT.
Just replace us with ChatGPT. It's just an interesting topic because, we've always heard this on the news, and it's been, it's going to replace people, and all this.
The last 18 months,
yeah. Been talking about it, and we can slowly
about AI replacing jobs and all that type of stuff. Is this what's happening with this deep research tool? Is this
what's happening with the research tool? That's the conversation that got me thinking when I think HubSpot's one of the first ones that got deep research connection into ChatGPT, because you don't need to go to HubSpot then connect ChatGPT via the app. What you do is you go to ChatGPT and connect it directly from ChatGPT into your HubSpot, which gives them complete total access from what I could see. So
yes, spoiler alert, that's our featured feature later,
yeah.
Which is how to set it up and then how to run a deep research. It's actually pretty straightforward, but it took us a little while to get that connected. Just behind the scenes, I was back and forth with tech support for some weeks, maybe 3 weeks, to get this sorted out, because it wasn't actually connecting to our initial ChatGPT account. And it actually went all the way up to, I believe, HubSpot's products team. And it turns out that the account we were trying to connect it to was in some violation of some rules somewhere. So they're like, create a new paid account. So we're like, okay. So we've done it, created the new paid account. We've run some tests. It seems to be working. Heads up, if you're hitting a brick wall there, just check your existing ChatGPT account. I reckon it's just because we've got some super galactic AI nerds in our main account doing some crazy crap, but nonetheless, we got it working. And I don't think it's going to replace us. I think the whole idea of AI replacing people is insane. AI is not going to replace people. It's going to replace people that don't know how to use AI, yes. But if you lean into this AI thing and this ChatGPT, that's why I really wanted to do this episode 3 weeks ago when it first came out, but I couldn't because it wasn't working. And it's just about leaning into these things that are new and uncomfortable and exciting and shiny, just enough that we can see its power or its worth in our day-to-day. So, Semi, is it worth us talking about, what is even this ChatGPT and HubSpot connector and why people should even care about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just the point is ChatGPT is a really good resource for making sure that you understand your CRM better, right? HubSpot tried this with their Copilot, all these different stuff, but ChatGPT on its own, if you feed it data, you go, hey, can you give me some insights on this? And it spits that data out for whatever information that you would want. And why is this a big deal? Why is this actually worthwhile knowing that is the ability of not being able to connect and remotely be able to query those questions directly and get those sourced directly from the source where it's generated from. So researching companies, finding engaged, unengaged people for you to then speak about or talk to about people that you should be talking to, knowing who they are and what that would look like. Even finding customers that are inactive with some of the activities that haven't been done, summarizing, so many different things, summarizing websites, outreach emails, the list goes on. You can query these things. This is your data you're making use of. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of those things that you touched on, Semi, we played around with ChatGPT's deep research, to talk about, show us some, tell me about my recently unengaged contacts or companies. What we found when we prompted it was that you need to be quite specific. We know this about ChatGPT, so you can't just say, tell me about my unengaged contacts. It needs to be a bit more specific, tell me about my unengaged contacts in the last 30 days, anyone that's not already a lifecycle stage customer. What do I mean by unengaged?
Yeah.
Unengaged is they haven't opened any marketing or sales emails, they haven't been on our website, but they previously had, before the 30 days, they had been active in some of these metrics. So when we ran that test, we were like, oh, okay, you got to be really specific with your prompt. And you can only be so specific with your prompt if you know what it is that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So again, not going to replace us, maybe definitely make our lives a little bit easier and our jobs easier. But you have to be specific. One of those tests that we ran, which I really liked, was show me those unengaged contacts, and by unengaged we meant blah, and in the time period of blah, and then draft me up an email that I could potentially outreach, send to these people to re-engage them. So that kind of like two-stepped approach that you were talking about was really cool, and I could definitely see the value in the connection there.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran another prompt, and you guys are going to see this in the feature later, and that was just like, tell me about my new contacts by source in the last month. Hey, it's a great getting started prompt, but how much value does it give you? I don't know. Why don't I just create a custom report? So I mean, like, it's like any of these new tools, you got to have a play.
Yeah. Imagine that this is probably get there if you prompt it right. Imagine if you say, hey, ChatGPT, the last engaged person, give me a summary or the first word of that, the prompt that you just talked about. Imagine it goes back and reviews all the conversation you had and crafts up a really personal message about that person, right? And then spits this to you in a, Excel sheet or some form of property in HubSpot that then you can then use to customize an outreach email, automated email. You just press send, and then you set this and forget it. So every 6 months, it does that automatically. Like, imagine that.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, that's another really great example of where it's like, it's only as good as what you feed it. So you might have a really good database within your HubSpot system. Now, to be fair, we've just spent the last 6 months cleaning the shit out of our data in HubSpot. So AI, it's only going to, like, this particular tool, I think what we're hearing a lot of now, and we heard this a lot at Grow like 2 weeks ago, was this idea of data structure, I think they were calling it. Like, how's your data structured and how's it the integrity of your data? Like, we've talked about this for years. And if your data isn't structured properly in HubSpot, and by that I mean lifecycle stages, lead sources, deal stages, lead status or stages, contact owners, probably the most important stuff, then this stuff's not going to work for you. It's just not going to know who to look for, how to look for it, what to do for it. This just brings me back to the point that we're not going to lose our jobs, because the way we get to that point, Semi, is by doing that very strategic customer journey mapping piece of work that we do with every single client of ours, no matter where they're at in their HubSpot journey. We do not skip that piece, because that is what gives us confidence that their system is set up properly and they're on the path to success.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I know it started as a joke, but like, at some point, maybe it might happen, maybe it might not happen. We don't know yet, right? We don't know what the future holds, right? But the truth is, there is still the need for delivery of like the things that we work on, right? You need to be able to break down situations or scenarios or really complex stuff in HubSpot down to a understandable level for someone to then absorb that and take action around that, right? So it's all well and good, but you still need to know how to, tell the story or do the work or showcase what needs to happen. Do the basics, absolutely.
Who do you think would get the most out of this ChatGPT deep researcher connection?
Yeah, good question. It's like whoever knows how to use ChatGPT really well, in my opinion. That's right. But that's in part saying that.
But the roles, what about the roles and the people?
BDMs, BDRs, the teams internal that will typically use stuff that query things on a regular basis. Maybe marketers, possibly marketers. I'm thinking like account managers, definitely salespeople, right? Anyone in the role of querying the data or using HubSpot effectively would make use of some form of information coming out. Now, again, is it really good? Is it worth the effort? Is it worth trying it out? The truth is, they attempted to do something that is a little bit different than they're the first in the scene. So it's only going to get better. It might take with the one. How long did it take us to run that one query? 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, it was
It
slow.
was slow.
About 8
It was slow.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
the truth is, it's probably going to get faster and better, and the more data. Like you're talking about really powerful tools here, right? Like HubSpot's really big and powerful and massive with a whole range of equations and a whole range of things in there. You're feeding that to another massive, language model, which has got a whole heap of things. Yeah, dude, waiting 8 minutes, like
It's going to be
it's
slow.
going to be slow. So it may
Yeah.
get faster and quicker and better, and you might end up going, hey, this is something that I genuinely can't do my job without, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, do you remember when deep research was like social stalking? So, like, you'd go and stalk someone on LinkedIn, then you might go find their socials, you'd read their website blog, and then this is a horrible joke, but you'd guess the CEO's star sign. Now it's just a matter of clicking, prompting, and done. And you can do your deep research that way. So, I mean, that's one way of looking at it, right? Like getting what you traditionally did over a series of browsers, tabs, and like windows and maybe applications. What this is doing is kind of bringing it into one place and becoming that, like, I think I said it before, super sassy AI-powered assistant or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I do agree it's slow and it's only going to get better. I can't imagine it's going to get worse. And you're right, HubSpot was like the first to do something like this. There was no other CRM that's connected with OpenAI like this yet that I'm aware of.
No, I think there's like, and so many people done research around it, just trying to figure out like which like system and which AI is worth it and how it kind of works. The truth is like it's just we're in the age of AI, so everything is now slapped with an AI version. But we know that ChatGPT has some real good use cases. HubSpot has some real good use cases. So just taking a step back, thinking about the future, what will it look like? You know, that's the question. Maybe for yourself, Tash, what would it look like from your opinion? You know, is this something that's a gimmick? Is it going to stay?
Yeah, I don't think it's a gimmick. I think like AI in general with your CRM, like it's about time is how I see it. Because for the years that we've been inside of HubSpot, and like I wouldn't call myself a data analyst, but I do analyze data for my clients. I analyze their CRM data to help them make optimizations to their portals, changes to their market, go to sales strategies. So yeah, that's what we do. And I mean, with AI now, we're still doing that, but we're cutting the time down by like 50, 60, 70% because we're leveraging something that can do the insights for us. And then we can get to the strategic thinking quicker because the AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting,
absolutely.
which is what would take us hours in the past to do, right? If someone, a company comes to us and says, we need a new go-to-market or go-to-sales strategy, we need our HubSpot revamped, we're talking 20 hours of human work to get that stuff done. We've cut that down massively now. We still follow our simple steps and processes, but we use ChatGPT, we use HubSpot's native AI features as well. So no, I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's a productivity booster. I think if you have that growth mindset and that, that eagerness to learn and challenge the status quo, then you should be, I'm encouraging you to play with it and use different prompts and like let us know if you found some really good prompts. We'll share a couple in this in the featured feature. Plus, if I can get a giveaway sorted, I'll share some there. If not, I mean, just ask ChatGPT for some prompts. Maybe like that could also work. And then it's evolving fast. Sammy, you already mentioned it. Like it's such a beast, two massive beasts coming together. It's going to keep evolving. So it's one of those things that you got to lean into it and go along for the ride. Like I wish I could have done this 3 weeks ago, but the part of my ride was that our other ChatGPT account was violated by something, so we can't do it. I don't know. So now we're in this one and we're making it work. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I'd love to maybe do another episode, not today because we're at time, but I want to do our next episode on like Copilot and not so much as the difference between the deep research and Copilot, but like I think Copilot's come a long way in the last 6 months as well. Yeah. And now HubSpot's released credits for professional users, I think like 5,000 credits or something. Yeah. So I'd love us to talk more about that as well. But yeah, I mean, that's my 2 cents without ranting too hard about it.
Look, I think the moral of the story is what I'm hearing from yourself and even from like the way we've been talking about HubSpot and ChatGPT, we're already using it, right? We're already using parts of it. And it's just going to get better and better. And it's probably a good start right now when the systems are still fresh and you're trying new things out to see how it can kind of improve your job, improve the way you work. It may be that you're not going to be using it solely on the ChatGPT deep research function, but it might be that at some point you start. I think that's the moral of this episode. Just like at least start querying things from your database, whether you use Copilot, whether you use ChatGPT independently, but start using it because, yeah, like I said, maybe, hopefully not soon, but maybe one day we might end up with no jobs.
Oh, Semi, you and your no jobs fear-mongering thing. Connect your ChatGPT with HubSpot. Turn your CRM into a conversion machine. Thanks for listening. Let's get into our featured feature, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Hey there, in this featured feature, I'm going to run you through how you can connect your paid version of ChatGPT to your HubSpot account and then enable the deep research functionality. So the first thing you need to make sure you have is a paid or a plus ChatGPT account. If you don't, you're not going to be able to access this integration. But once you have one, what you're going to have to do is go up to, in your ChatGPT account, up to the icon at the top right here. And then you're going to go through to settings. Then you're going to go through to connectors, and you're going to find HubSpot down here in the browse connectors. Once you click HubSpot, you can see mine's already connected, but once you click HubSpot, what it's going to do is prompt you open another window where you're going to select the account that you want to connect. Now, if you've only got one HubSpot account, awesome, select that one. If you've got multiple, you're going to have to find the account you want to connect to. Once you click it, the ChatGPT and HubSpot are going to do its kind of authentication connection, and then it'll be done. It literally takes a couple of seconds. Once that's done, you're going to go into your next chat, and you want to make sure you do a few key things before you start prompting it for a deep research. So you want to click Tools, and then you're going to click Run a Deep Research. And then on the Sources icon here, you want to make sure that Sources is open, and you can go ahead and disconnect or unselect Web Search. We just want to do HubSpot. Then we can go and prompt it. Now, there are many resources out there in terms of what prompts you can use, but I think for the first time, it's worth just going with something simple that you can get your head around how it actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and prompt it with, tell me about my new contacts created last month, which was June, by lead source and contact owner. I want to see it in a table format. Okay, and we're going to press enter, and then we're going to let it do its thing. So then it's come back and said, let me know if you want to pull this data from HubSpot and if you want the table to include lead sources. So yes, take this from HubSpot and include all lead sources and owners, contact owners. So now what it's going to do is start its research, and I'm going to come back to this video once the research is done. Alrighty, so it's been about 10 minutes, 8 minutes actually, for the prompt to start to populate. And what happened during that time was this activity tab opened up and it started running through the activity of what it was doing to gather me that intel. And during that time, I'm watching it, and then I'm seeing my new contacts in June by lead source and contact owner get created. So here I can see the contact owner, the lead source, and the count of contacts. Now, what this is obviously going to tell me is that there are some contacts that my team have been putting into the system without lead sources. So I can go off and get those actioned. And then I can also see some other notes around who doesn't have lead sources and what else I need to action. So there you go. That's how you're going to connect your ChatGPT and HubSpot for a deep research functionality. Also, what I'm going to provide you with in the comments of this video or wherever it is that you're watching or listening to this is a ChatGPT HubSpot deep research bank of prompts. So we've gone ahead and created a whole bunch of prompts that we think you could use to get this kind of rolling. And then we'd love to hear from you if you've found success on any other prompts. So yeah, there you go.